Alright, hello everyone. Today we are going to do something, well, a bit unusual for me. We're going to do a tier list. And this time we are going to make a tier list about classes or operators in the PvP mode of Ghost Recon Wildlands that I've been enjoying lately again. Since, well, some other players have also been returning. And yeah, so let's go and I'll share my insights. So first of all, I'll go through each of the classes like one by one and maybe add some points why they are the tier I think. So let's start with the Echelon. The Echelon is a class that's I think really solid. You have the ability to ping through walls, like you can scan through walls and then you get pings where enemies are. And I think this ability alone makes it really strong. I think I would put it into A tier, just because you have the intel, the constant intel around you. It's like a radius of, what, I think 100 to 120 meters or something that it goes out, so it's really great. I think the kit is okay. I personally don't really like those small mines too much, but, well, it can at least help you out covering one entrance in the building or something. Alright, next we go to the artillery. Well, my brother likes this class really much because, well, you can. It's of course a support class, and the support classes get the perk that you can bring 2 more of each of your items, so you can have 4 mines total, and you can just make the complete map a whole minefield. But I personally, I think it's sorta okay. It's definitely not a bad class, and the utility of the mortar is pretty good in open situations, if you have like a map with a lot of trees or something. But if it's a lot of buildings, then yeah, the utility of the drone is pretty limited, because you cannot always hit them when they're inside buildings. So I'll put it B tier, but it's I think B tier is still pretty solid. Like, it has a lot of uses. Definitely way worse classes out there. Assassin, well, let's just face it, it's straight S tier, because you can be so fast, you have a weapon that's really great, with a suppressed vector. It's just insane. And if you consider the lagginess of the game, that just adds to the oppressiveness of this class, because then you jump around a little bit depending on the host of the game, and it's pretty insane, especially if you're playing, well, not only if you're playing alone, but also if you're playing in a team with comms, right? You can just run around and surprise the team from the back, and they don't really know where their teammate got shot from, because they don't get a sound signature when you're shooting. So it's pretty strong, this class, I think. Alright, next we have another drone class, the Sapper. I personally like this class because, well, you can take I don't know what it's called. I think full bags or something. Again, that you get +2 of each of your items, and then you can have 4 C4 in your bags. But let's be honest, the drone is okay to scout. It's pretty fast and agile, but I'm not too keen on the Sapper drones. Little I don't know, it's called suppression mines or what they are. They are okay, but I don't really think it's a really good class. So the thing is, the artillery has more utility, I think. You can really force people out of not buildings, but positions behind trees and something. And you also have the mines to cover your tracks. Yeah, or your buildings, doors or something. Okay, yeah, so let's go to the next class, which is the Disruptor. And this class, I have to tell you, I really think this is straight D tier because the ability is so fucking useless. It's a class they really missed. Yeah, well, this is just a missed opportunity because I think what I've heard in the early stages of Ghost War, this class was really overpowered. I don't know. I've just heard stories, but right now in the state it is, I think they nerfed it. It's just so bad. So just for a little explanation, you know, you have a circle around you. I don't know. It's probably also 100 meters or something. And in every enemy that is in the circle, first knows you are there because there's no other way that their minimap is gemmed. So yeah, this disruptor gems enemy minimaps and so on. And this is basically it. I think it also disrupts drones if you fly near 10 meters or something of this class, but this will never happen, so it's straight useless. Also, the kit is really bad. You just have 3 grenades, and grenades are, I don't know, I think grenades are one of the worst gadgets in this game. Flashbangs are awesome, mines are okay, C4 is great, but grenades are just meh. I mean, they're okay, but I'd really like that. I would really like this guy to have flashbangs instead of 3 grenades. That would really buff him so much. Also, the weapons aren't that great. I think he has like the M249, so an okay machine gun. And then this TAR. It's also okay, and the P90 also okay, but these are all weapons. It's really, they are only okay if you are really close to the enemy, else they have too much spread in my opinion. So this is more or less just a meme class. Yeah, I mean, I think you could make a point to put it in C class and C tier because I think he also has some extra HP like all the assault classes, but if you compare to the utility of the sapper and the kit of the sapper, it's just worse. Okay, so enough of my rage. Let's get to the next class, the Enforcer, one of my beloved childs. This one is awesome. You can suppress the enemy with your LMGs like there's no tomorrow. You will never run out of bullets if you don't basically hold the trigger down for 5 minutes. You can just do some fire bursts and they are still suppressed like hell, and you can suppress the entire team if you know where they are. The only real counters to this class are if you have a pointman or a predator who is using his ability, so they can't be suppressed. But apart from that, it's really awesome. So I think you could put it in A tier if you know how to use it and use it in a team. Because if you're alone, it's not. It's wasted potential, let's say it like this. If you don't know where the enemies are, where your teammates need support and cover, then it's basically just a class with a little buff of having a good LMG and the enhanced suppression mechanic. Alright, let's go to the medic. I love this class. I think this is the class I've played the most when I began this game, just because it's so awesome. I think this kit isn't the current what's shown here. So now he has 2 grenades and 2 flashbangs, and also a really great weapon selection. I personally like the vector that he has. This is also really good. Yeah, just the class is really good, and considering you can also remote heal your teammates, it's just a really good class. I think I would put it in... I think I would put it in A tier. Just because if you're playing against good players, they will immediately shoot the drone when you start it, and it's not like the other drones that only get marked after automatically marked after like 3 or 4 minutes for the enemy team. This medic drone immediately gets marked for the entire enemy team when you start it. So first, the enemy team immediately knows your position, where you're lying, and if they are close, they can just kill you if you're not careful. And second, yeah, of course, if the drone is marked, everyone will be shooting it. So it's usually useful to close the distance to the teammate you want to revive before starting the drone, just because the enemy has less time to shoot it. But apart from that, I really love this class. Alright, next to the Pathfinder. And this is another special child. For solo play, this class is insane, I would say, if you know how to play it, because it's really hard if the enemy doesn't have great thermal view drones, and you're camping the Recon tower. This class is basically, yeah, in most of the games unkillable, because the enemy can't find you and you're just shooting everyone who tries to get to the Recon tower. So this is a really annoying class, I have to say. I personally don't like it, but I have to admit it's a pretty solid class, depending on how you're playing it. In a team play, I don't really like it if you're playing sitting in a bush or something and the other team is doing something else. I don't think that adds much value to the team, but playing solo, I think it's just straight S tier. So I'm just putting it somewhere in the middle, I guess. No, let's just do this. Let's just do this tier list out of the view of a team player. So I'll put it C tier. The Pointman, yeah, strat S tier. Oh, maybe? So the thing with the Pointman is he has really good weapons. He has one of the best abilities, so you can't be suppressed, and this is awesome countering the Enforcer and other people trying to suppress you. And he has one of the best laser guns, right? With the AK-12, you can just point and click and it gets deleted. And yeah, so the only thing that I don't like is, of course, that he doesn't have any other really utility ability, like a drone guy or something. But I don't know. I think utility-wise, he's not so good, but in all the other things, it's awesome. Also because he has 4 flashbangs and isn't flashable, which is his real banger. Yeah, I'll put it in front of A tier. I really like this class. Predator is next. Well, this is a really similar class to the Pointman. So he can still be flashed, and he can also be suppressed, except when he activates his ability. Which is basically Adrenaline Rush, and you get auto heal for, I think, maybe 15 seconds or something. I don't know the exact numbers. You can't be suppressed while the ability is active. Yeah, and I think you also get some damage reduction, but I'm not sure about that. And also, the M16 he has is an awesome gun. It's really, really awesome. Just like the AK-12. Alright, next is the Ranger. And yeah, the Ranger is a pretty solid class, I have to say. He has a good gun in, I don't know, MK14, I think? Not sure about this. It's basically half a semi-automatic, yeah, mid-range sniper rifle. And it also has burst fire, so in close combat, this can also be really good if you know how to use it. And apart from that, he doesn't really have anything to it. Yeah, he can equip a machine gun as a secondary, a submachine gun as a secondary, but honestly, it's not as great as having some other great utility. So I think I put it in, yeah, maybe in C tier, coming a bit above the Pathfinder. Next is the Recruit. Yeah, well, this one is difficult because you don't really have a ability, but the AK-47 is a really great gun. So I'm not even sure if I want to put him in front of Disruptor. Because they have the same kit, they both have 3 grenades, I think? Or does he only have 2? Well, I don't know. But the guns are definitely better than the one of the Disruptor. Which is pretty insane. Yeah, I think I'll actually put the Recruit in front of the Disruptor. Alright. Let's go to the next one. The Saboteur. Is he still called the Saboteur? Well, anyways, I don't know. I think this class is really great, especially in team play. Because this drone, if you are flying around with it, doesn't get marked for the enemy team. And if you're combining this with thermal vision, you basically have a really, really great drone for scouting around the map without getting your drone shut down, because the enemy team doesn't really know that you are up there. Which is awesome. And if you're playing in a team, you can communicate with them, send some pings, yeah, there's some enemy, and the enemy can be dealt with pretty quickly. Now, what I really don't like, well, this is a general drone problem, is that on maps where you have many trees, such as forest maps, it's really hard to get a good overview of the map because the trees are blocking so much. Yeah, so this is a general drone problem, not about the Saboteur. I also think he has a great kit. He has 3 flashbangs and 2 grenades, so pretty solid. His gun, the M4, is also pretty great. It's not shown here. Yeah, so I really like this guy. But maybe put him, because utility-wise, yeah, I think it's just like the artillery. It's a really situational unit class, because depending on the map, you don't really need it. You can use other intel classes, intel operators. The Scout, I think this one is just worse than the Saboteur. There's some special cases where he's better than like the Saboteur, because if there are many obstructions and the enemy is running or moving, then you get those pings if you're on the drone, right? I think it's about 200 meters where you get those pings, and if they are moving in the buildings, you can see that there's movement inside with using the Scout. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good class depending on the situation, but I honestly think the Sapper drone is better because you still have some damage dealing opportunities with it. Yeah. Depending on the situation, of course, this can really change, but I think in general the Sapper drone is much better than the Scout drone. Alright, next to the fucking most OP class in this game, the Wallhack class. I think you put it right here. So the Vanguard is a really special one. I think it was one of the 2 classes that were added at the very end of the life cycle of Ghost War, and this one is insane. You just have 6 grenades. This is your ability, and those are special grenades. And you throw them, and they make whoosh, and then you basically get a wall hack of all enemies within the grenade's range, which is pretty huge if you're thinking about it. I don't know, guessing it would be like 30 meters radius or something, maybe even a little bit more. It's pretty huge. And if you are rushing the enemy with a small team of assault classes, and you have this guy, it's really hard for the enemy to stop you, because you always instantly know where the enemy is. There's no class that can counter the marking of this wall hacking class, which, winky winky, it would have been awesome if the disruptor could counter this, but well, we don't get it. Yeah. He has a pretty good kit. The gun, he has flashbangs, grenades, and the guns are okay. If you're... So the SR3M, this is not this one. This one I don't really like so much, but the SR3M is a pretty strong gun. It had really much damage, but it has also really great spread if you're shooting it too much. So little fire bursts, and the SR3M is a pretty good gun, especially in close quarters. Yeah, so straight S tier. Alright, next class. This sharpshooter over here. Well, let's have a look. I think the sharpshooter has its uses, but if we are being honest, it's just worse than the sniper. Because yeah, so the ability of this guy is you have a little scope on your sniper rifle. This scope can be charged in like 3 seconds or something, and if the scope is charged, you don't have any bullet drop on the gun. So you point, you shoot, you hit. Well, at least if you are pointing on an enemy. Yeah, but I think he has a better kit with the C4 than the sniper, because this gives you a little bit much more ability to kill enemies close quarters with your C4. Yeah, but apart from that, you don't get the... You get damage reduction if you're shooting through walls, which is not the case when you're using the sniper. So I think this guy is way worse than the normal sniper. Yeah, and utility-wise, I think it's fair to put him right here. At least looking from a perspective of a guy who plays with a team in comms. Yes. Next one. Okay, this is also one of my beloved classes. This Surgeon. And yeah, what do you say about this? This is pretty insane. You get, I think, 6 stim syringes. You can shoot them up to 60 meters. And you can heal guys for like half-life. Or you can resurrect them also from 60 meters away if you have clear line of sight with this stim pistol. The cooldown is pretty short. So you can, if you're rushing in a big team, you can basically, yeah, just stim, and the round is over, because you've rushed all over the enemy team while resurrecting maybe 1 or 2 of your guys who died in the rush. So I think this is even better in team play than the Assassin, because it's just such an awesome utility. Oh my god, I'm just seeing that apparently when this picture was taken, this guy had even more flashbangs than he has now, so he was even more overpowered. Yeah, good that they nerfed this, because this guy is awesome. Another thing, he has a really great variety of guns. So the P90 is over there, yeah, it's great in close combat, but what is really awesome is that he also has the MP5, and this gun is just... It's, I think from the machine pistols, it's one of the very best. So maybe like even on par with the Vector, because it has, I think it has a bit more range and more precision if you're shooting at range. And this can really bump you up, because you don't really want to be the first one running into a building with enemies. You want to be the last one and maybe helping your teammates out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like I said, one of my most played classes, the Surgeon. I really love that one. Next up is the Toxic Drone. Stinky Farty Farty. I love this class. It's awesome, but I think it has more utility than the artillery. I think maybe in retro perspective, it's not so great that they put all these really high utility classes only in B tier, because I think they are even better sometimes than Echelon or something. Yeah, I think Toxic is, from utility-wise, it's really great. Yeah, let's just put it in A tier. The guns he has are, well, they're okay. There are some machine pistols that are okay, but I don't really fancy them. Yeah, the real power of this class comes from area denial. Just stinky one of their houses and they are running like ants. It's awesome. Just make sure to notify your team and they can pick them off when they're running around. Oh, yes. Smoke. Yeah, let's put it into... I mean, this is a little bit subjective. I mean, the whole tier list is, but Smoke is also... I think... It's just so much fun to play Smoke. Because it's the fastest and most agile drone out there. And if you know how to play it, you can just dance around like 300 meters around, 300 meters away from enemies, fly in some weird pattern, and they are occupied like 20 seconds shooting down your drone if they are not doing it right, because from so far out they can't really hit it well. And you can use thermal vision, you can use quick hands to take the Recon tower fast. You can revive down teammates who are maybe you would else how never be able to revive them because they are lying in the middle of the street or something. You just drop a smoke on it, get some cover from teammates so nobody runs into the smoke, and just revive them. And this is also really great. If you have a pesky sniper on the tower, you don't always have to use Toxic. You can just use smoke him, and you have, well, basically you're safe from being killed instantly by a sniper. You can just run around because he doesn't see anything. Really great utility in this class. I love it. Next up is Stalker. I think this is one of the greater sniper classes, marksman classes. So let's just put him. But for team play, it's also again a thing. For team play, I think it's not that great. There are better classes. I think it's okay, but so the specialty of this guy is, first, if you shoot only enemies within, I think, 60 meters of this guy can see a sound marker of him shooting. So this is pretty nice because your first shot is usually going unnoticed and no one knows where this came from. I think he's definitely better than the Ranger, but I also think I would put him C tier. I think this class has a great kit. He has flashbangs, C4, a shotgun. So basically you're not dead when someone is coming close. Yeah, I'll put him in front of the scout because the scout class is really not that great. Ah yeah, and also if you're shooting a drone, it's dead instantly. And the another ability of him is that if you mark an enemy, the enemy does not get notified that he is marked, right? If if any other class marks an enemy, they get I think after 3 seconds they get like this thing on their minimap. Yeah, you are marked. All right, next class, Trapper. In team play, I think he's all right. I think he might even be a little bit better Then the Stalker, because you also get the ability to see downed enemies, so where they lie, you get a little skull icon, so you can camp them better. And you also get those stun mines, which I really like. But apart from that, like playing in a team, I don't really fancy this guy. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the placement. Next up, Sentinel. The Sentinel is one of the classes I think in team play is really great, because on most maps you need some range support. You can't just go all yeah, not just all 4 guys can go like an assault class with only medium range weapons. It's sometimes really hard. So this is where the Sentinel really comes in great, because he can be mobile, you have some range support, he has a great kit, and he has an awesome ability with his trackers. Well, let me first place him. I think, yeah. I think maybe he's even S tier, if we are being honest, just because of this great combination of ability and kit. Yeah, but honestly, I think A tier is also great. It's not an S tier class, I think. For solo play, this is really an S tier class, but for team play, I think A tier fits well. Yeah, and these trackers, you get them every, like, I think every minute or something. You have a tracker, you put it in an area, and an enemy that's in that area instantly gets marked. Or if he runs into a tracker that lies somewhere. It's really great to cover your corners and sides and something. Really awesome. Next up, the Sniper. Another class that is really great, if you know how to use it. I don't know. Like, if you have a Vanguard and a building map together and a Sniper, this combination may be just straight S tier, because you can mark the enemies with Vanguard through the walls and then shoot them with a Sniper who can shoot the walls. And if the enemy doesn't hide behind solid cover, like really impenetrable cover, they just die. So this would be insane. But not all maps are, not on all maps you're able to shoot those things. So I think it's, yeah, for team play, if you're not playing with the Vanguard, this guy might be still A tier, because it's most of the time a one-hit kill, or like the enemy is left on 1% and bleeding and dies within the next 10-20 seconds. Yeah, it's a good class if your teammates know how to play this one. Else it's if the teammate doesn't know how to play it, it's really bad, because they are not going to help your team out just like they would if they'd pick any well, mid-range class from the assault tab or something. So yeah, it's situational. Maybe even drop it down to B tier. Tank, also really awesome class. You're chunky as hell. So the real awesome thing on this class is that you get, like, I think 225 HP, which is insane. And sometimes the enemy just stops shooting because, from force of habit, they think you must already be dead, because every other class would have been dead by now. And, well, you are not, because you are tank. And you just get to kill them. Or their magazines run out or something. It's really great. So I wouldn't put it into S tier, just put it into A tier, I think. Maybe also B tier in front of the Sniper. Well, I don't know. It's really hard to compare those two. It also depends heavily on the map. On open maps, this guy isn't really great. On close quarter maps, yeah, it's pretty damn good. Also, if the enemy is taking Recon Tower, or another one of your teammates is marked by the enemy team, you can just hit your ability and only you will be marked. Every other one will be instantly unmarked. And yeah, that can also be situationally a really good ability. And last but not least, we have tag. And the tag is and the tag is able to use this ability to jam all drones for I think 20 seconds or something. And if the enemy has drones in the sky, the drones just are killed and are on cooldown. So this is pretty great. What I don't like about it is that the enemy still has like a 1 second time when they're in the air, right? If the enemy drone flies in the air and is like a mortar, and you hit the tech thingy and jam the enemy drone, the enemy mortar has still 1 to 1.5 seconds time to drop his mortar, which is a really, really bad design. Yeah, this is annoying. So this class is actually in this situation not really great if you know you want to rush a building and the enemy usually puts a mortar in your way and you want to block this mortar preemptively. This is really great. So also a really situational class. Also this guy doesn't have C4 anymore. He has now those gluey mines you can put on walls. And his weapons aren't that great. So I think in B tier is pretty okay because this guy is just really situational. You just have to know the enemy is using drones against your tactics, and only then this guy is really good. Else, I don't think... Yeah, he has much use. I mean, you can also jump the Recon tower, but there's also many other ways to block the Recon tower. Alright, that was it. Tell me in the comments what you think about it, if you are even playing this game anymore. And yeah, maybe we'll do another tier list soon. See ya!